Oh my god, this makes me cry too. If it was just the regular onions. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my uploads. Now that we have that out of the way, for today's episode of Mariewannaaa Make What You Crave, we are making gyoza. And not only will we be making our own filling, but we will also be making our own wrapper, because we like to make our lives a little bit more difficult in this channel, and because we like to challenge ourselves, and because we just have a lot of time in our hands and we're bored. That's why. So now we will be making gyoza. Let's get on to the video. Okay, to start off, put in 1 cup of flour in a bowl and season it with salt. Now you have to boil some water and put in 1 cup. I'm just mixing it with my chopstick to make sure we combine as much flour into the water. Now it's time to get our hands messy again. We go on in with our hands and try to combine the flour with our water as much as possible. And when it's all combined, you start kneading it for a good 10 to 15 minutes. You'll know when you're done kneading it when you poke your dough and it kind of bounces back. Then we wrap it in plastic cling wrap and set aside to rest for 1 hour. And while we're waiting for our dough to rest, we can work on our filling. In a bowl, I prepared about 250 grams of ground pork. You set that aside and bring out your cabbage. I'm using 2 leaves here, and then we remove the hard white parts and mince your cabbage. And once you're done mincing your cabbage, you may put it in the bowl with your ground pork and set it aside and move on to the next ingredient. Take out your spring onions. I have about 2 to 3 leaves here. Is that what you call them? Leaves? Stems? I don't know. And remove the roots and mince them too. Be careful though, because it will make you cry. Oh my god, this makes me cry too. If it was just the regular onions. I am legit crying from that onion. The next ingredient is garlic. I am using 3 cloves here, but you can add more. It all boils down to preference anyway. Mince them and add them to the bowl too. The next ingredient we are going to mince is mushrooms. I'm using 2 shiitake mushroom heads here, and again, you can add more if you want. I'm not stopping you. I'm not gonna eat it, you are. So if you want more or less of any of the ingredients, it's up to you. It's a free country. Do what you want. Why are you letting me tell you what to do? Oh wait, you're following this recipe? That's why. Okay, the last thing we are going to mince is ginger. You can grate it into the bowl for a finer result, but I didn't have a grater with me, so we do the best that we can. Now it's time to season our filling. I'm adding 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and of course, don't forget to add a pinch of salt, and of course, a dash of pepper. Black pepper, to be exact. We then take our spatula and mix our ingredients. You can get your hands messy again and actually use your hands to mix it around, just as long as you mix it well. And now that we're done with our filling and our dough has rested for a little bit over than an hour, we can now work on our wrapper. Remove the plastic cling film and put a little bit of flour on your dough. Make a hole on the center like you would a donut and separate it on one end. roll it around, and you can divide your dough into equal sizes. This recipe made me 16 wrappers, so if you're planning to make more than that, you can just adjust the ratio of the ingredients that I mentioned here. Make them into balls and cover the ones you're not using yet with plastic to prevent it from drying out. Take one of the balls and flatten it, making sure you put flour so that it won't stick to your work area. Then using your rolling pin, roll out the dough as thinly as possible on the edges so when we'll fold it later, the dough won't be so thick. Now that you have your wrapper, place enough filling, positioning it to one side of the circle. Fold the other half on top of the filling and start folding. You can fold it in one direction or start from the middle. I'm no expert here because look what I'm doing. Oh wait, it's not focused. I think the second one is a little bit better. I think. Focus. Not that better, but it's progress. I am not getting the hang of this. I finished making 16 gyozas, and you can actually place them into containers and freeze them to cook for another day. Okay, it's another day. I've taken out my gyozas from the freezer, and before cooking them, let them defrost a little bit. To cook gyoza, first heat up your pan and place about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and however much gyozas you want to eat that day. Fry it around 2 to 3 minutes, checking it once in a while, and when the bottom of your gyoza turns golden brown, add in a small amount of water and cover the pan so you can cook the rest with steam. And after another 5 minutes of steaming, your gyozas are now ready to serve. For my sauce, I made it with equal parts of soy sauce and vinegar and a little bit of sesame oil and chili flakes. Now that we have that out, forget to subscribe and hit the notification. Shut up.